So hi, welcome back to this another episode with me, Arshi. I hope you guys are doing good. अभी बहुत serious faces यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं. थोड़ी देर में, we'll kind of relax and we'll have a chit chat session. We are just starting with the new session for 2027, and जब भी students MBA के लिए aspire कर रहे होते हैं, they have so many entrance examination. CAT is one of those examinations जो majority of students देते हैं, but उसके अलावा भी one of the most preferred and speed accuracy exam जो है that is called SNAP. And currently I am sitting with few students who are from SIDTM Pune, and we'll be discussing which will help you in terms of your snap preparation, because आज ही मैं प्रोफाइल एनालिसिस फॉर्म पढ़ रही थी and एक स्टूडेंट का क्वेश्चन था कि if I am just starting my snap preparation today, then what should be my strategy? So I think I'm going to help you out and help out all the other students जिन स्टूडेंट्स ने वो स्ट्रैटेजी खुद अपनाई है अपनी प्रिपरेशन में. But before starting my questions, I just want you to introduce yourself. So accordingly, we can take it forward. So we'll start with Prakhar. Yes, over to you, Prakhar.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. So my name is Prakash Srivastav. I am from Bangalore. I completed my undergrad in mechanical engineering. Post that, I joined Cognizant as a software engineer, where I worked for about 2 years. And now currently I'm pursuing my MBA in SIDTM Pune as a second year student, where my specialization is marketing and finance.
Yes,
Um,
Suniti. Oh, yes, Khushi. Over to you.
yes.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I am Khushi Raj. I come from Patna, and I did my graduation in BA, Mass Media. And post that, I came here at SIDTM. I'm a second year student in the specialization of marketing and finance. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yes, Suniti, over to you.
Hello, my name is Suniti. I'm from the city of Aurangabad, Maharashtra. So I've done my graduation in BCom, and after that, I have work ex of 1.5 years into content and content strategy. And I'm the first year student at SIDTM, and that's it.
I think Suniti can help me out in terms of strategizing my content, first of all.
Definitely.
Okay. So we just want to start with the very first question. We have quite diverse people from Bangalore, from Bihar, and from Maharashtra. Fresher, experienced tech, so different domains. So let's, in case, we're sitting already in the month of August, exams notifications already out, right? अगर कोई स्नैप के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहा है, उसने डिसाइड किया कि मुझे स्नैप के लिए जाना है, व्हाट डू यू थिंक व्हाट शुड बी देयर फर्स्ट स्टेप, हाउ दे कैन गो फॉर इट, हु वांट टू आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन?
Okay. I'll go ahead with this. So I think the first step that I took right after my graduation, when I decided that I want to go for entrance exams of MBA, and SNAP was one of them. I think I decided to first actually understand the structure of the paper, because there are many entrance exams, but all the patterns are very different. So like SNAP is a very speed accuracy exam, right? It's a 60-minute exam. CAT is a 2-hour exam. So to understand what kind of questions and if the difficulty is the same level as CAT, to understand the structure of the paper, started looking through some papers. I did not solve the questions at first. I just saw the pattern. I just observed it. Then I tried to solve 3 and 4 papers, and to understand the difficulty of the exam, to understand the whole syllabus. So according to that, I could plan a structure on which topics I would like to actually focus on and what type of topics are already in my hold. So I could actually focus on the topics where I am lacking, or maybe those are my weak parts. So that was my first step, to understand the structure of the paper mostly.
See, I mean, you have already specified that Snap is known for its speed, right? It's a speed test. But obviously, when you're preparing for an examination which is a speed test, तो उसके साथ साथ accuracy भी जो है वो बहुत मैटर करती है, because आपको time और accuracy दोनों manage करनी है. So how somebody can balance both the things, at the same point of time?
All right, I think I'll answer this question. So when I was starting with my preparation, I think what first comes to snap is first you look at the type of syllabus which is coming, right? Some of the syllabus, let's say if you take in quantitative arithmetic or algebra, some of the topics you'll be able to do it faster. Maybe profit and loss and percentage questions, you'll be able to do it faster, right? But some syllabus of questions, let's say algebra, logarithms, those might consume time, right? So you have to plan accordingly. How will you tackle those questions? And you have to work according to your weakness and strengths. Somebody could be really good at verbal, somebody could be really good at quants. So you have to give time accordingly. If you are good at verbal, maybe you can solve that faster. If you are bad at quants, you can take more time in that to solve more questions. So I think taking mock exams, I think, is the first step. You try to strategize after taking some mocks. You really understand where you are strong, right? Which subjects you are stronger, and according to that, maybe you can strategize when you're actually going for your snap exams.
Acha, I also have this question, right? Uh, कि I mean, I think सबसे पहली चीज होती है is to understand the behavior कि एग्जाम कैसा है, किस लेवल के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, सेक्शन वाइज and all these things. Then you have specified कि you have to strategize as per your strength and weaknesses कि आप किस चीज में अच्छे हो, किस चीज में अच्छे नहीं हो. अब एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे like we're sitting in August, स्टूडेंट्स ने अभी डिसाइड किया कि उनको स्नैप देना है. I mean, they don't have much of time. They just have 2-3 months with them, right? So, do you think it is possible to prepare for SNAP in 2-3 months? That is first question. Second thing, how they really have to start with each and every section because, ठीक है, time कम है. You have to complete the syllabus also, and it should be in a way that we should be able to score good percentile so that only we'll be able to make it to all those dream colleges जो हम SNAP के through target कर रहे हैं. So, I mean, who wants to add to this?
I'd like to add to this
Yeah.
one. So I think the first point is I actually started my preparation in August. So I also thought that maybe 2-3 months are not enough, but they were, because first of all, if you're already preparing for the other MBA entrance exams and you suddenly want to bring SNAP into the vision, then that's another thing. That in that sense, I would say the syllabus that we have for CAT is almost similar, but some type of questions are very different in SNAP exam. Like we see the calendar type of questions, or maybe some other LRDI type of questions that are not present in CAT. So alphabetical series, these type of questions are new questions. So I would rather focus on the new type of questions that I'm not prepared for. So I can focus on the questions which might take my time more, because I don't know about those questions in the CAT preparation. So those are the questions I would like to focus on. And since we have only 3 months left, I think strengths is what we need to focus on more, because if we spend more time on our weaknesses also, we'll be just wasting our time by not even revising our strengths, and also we'll be doing subpar work in our weaknesses. So I think strengthening already what we know and going through the things that we don't know anything about, just so that we can balance it out, is the preparation that we can do for 2-3 months before snap. And I mean, if we practice and with consistency, 2-3 months are more than enough. Snap is a 60-minute exam, and I think that difficulty can be handled if we are consistent enough.
Suniti, I have this question with you. I mean, we have talked about that how somebody can start with preparation, how somebody, can strategize it. But let's in case, बहुत सारी ऐसी mistakes होती है जो students करते हैं और वो उनको realize होता है once they're done with the exam. कि यार, this is what I, तो what do you think? Preparation time पे ऐसी कौन सी mistakes है जो students बहुत ज्यादा करते हैं जो जिसकी वजह से उनको obviously पे कहीं ना कहीं सफर करना पड़ता है. I hope my question is clear to you.
Okay, yes, definitely. So, one of the few mistakes that students make while preparing for the exam is not getting their basics clear. That is the first thing. Like, you need to build on your fundamentals. Second is diving way too much into your fundamentals and like not covering the high frequency topics, because SNAP is a speed-based exam. They are not looking for how deep you've driven into the topic. So that's another thing. And third would be not analyzing your mock tests really well. Like just giving the mock test for the sake of it is not something you need to do. So after every mock test, you need to analyze like what sections you're falling behind. Why did you make the mistake? Was it a calculation error, or was it you were under the time pressure? You need to analyze each and every mock. Like 10 analyzed mocks are better than 28 which you have just given for the sake of it. So those would be the 3 mistakes that one can avoid during the prep.
So if I talk about one by one, we'll start with Prakhar. राइट। अगर मुझे अभी हमने बहुत जेनेरिक वे में डिस्कस किया कि दिस शुड बी योर स्ट्रैटेजी, वर्क ऑन योर स्ट्रेंथ, अभी टाइम नहीं है तो आप अपनी स्ट्रॉन्ग सेक्शंस को ज्यादा और स्ट्रॉन्ग कर सकते हो। बट अगर मैं सेक्शन वाइज प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रैटेजीज की बात करूँ, सो हु वांट्स टू गो विद क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी, क्या स्ट्रैटेजी होनी चाहिए फॉर दिस सेक्शन?
Okay, so for I think quants के लिए try to analyze past years papers. There will be topics जो ज़्यादा पूछे गए हैं, like for example arithmetic questions, the percentages, profit and loss, time, speed, distance, time and work. These questions are asked very frequently, and the structure of the questions are not really changed, right? So you can tackle these first. Try to do it as fast as you can with high speed accuracy, right? Next comes your algebra. It could be equations, logarithms, progressions. If you're really struggling with algebra, you can take a back foot at it. You can maybe solve questions which you think you will be able to solve. Next, I think comes your geometry and mensuration. Again, like in at least in my case, geometry was my weak point. So whenever I came across a geometry question, I would always keep it at the last because I'm not good at these questions, right? And when it comes to basic data interpretation like tables, pie charts, and bar graphs, I think these questions are actually very doable. So once you analyze the past year's question papers, you will be able to solve these at a faster rate. Some of these questions are very direct based questions. Some can be a little tricky. And if you think that you're spending a little too much time on these questions, just avoid it. It's fine. It's okay. Like it's better to skip those questions and go to next questions, which are your strengths, right? Let's say for percentages or profit and loss. These questions usually students tackle much faster because these questions are asked throughout the syllabus of MBA, CAT, NMI, and maths, even ZATs, right? So students are well versed with these questions. So I think that is like the basic strategy with quant, I would say.
Who wants to go with the logical reasoning?
I'll go with logical
Yeah.
reasoning. So for me, logical reasoning used to be second in number because I knew BA is the easiest part for me. So I'll do
Hmm.
it in the beginnings to score more marks. For LR, I used to section the paper in a way that these are the set of questions I have to attempt. These are the questions I might or might not, and these are the questions I will touch later on at the last minute of the paper. So there are some topics like I said, it's good that you took quants because quants was my last thing that I would attempt because it took a lot of time. In LRDI also, there are some questions, some set of questions that I would always get right. So these are the questions that I would strengthen more. Let's say alphabetical series questions or calendar questions. These are the questions that I could do with shortcuts. So there were tricks and hacks that I could use to save more time. So these were my must attempt questions. So this is what I can score in. The middle type of questions where I could or could not go wrong is somewhere I would spend more time once I'm done with the first round of paper. And then the last type of questions which I would actually stay away from is once I'm done with all the sections once, and then the second round, and then the third round. When I'm attempting the most difficult questions from all three sections is when I would choose this. So not just LRTI, but I would divide the whole paper into these sections that these are the must attempt, these are the middle ones, and then these are the last ones.
Now goes to the verbal ability, right? And we have Sunitu to answer this question. Yes.
Yes. So I was saying there are two things which you need to do for the VA section. Firstly, is you need to develop the habit of reading. You need to be skimming through your whatever is given instead of reading everything slowly. Because if you do not read fast, you're going to miss out and you're going to waste a lot of time in your VA section. Secondly, you need to start developing your vocabulary because until and unless you have developed a certain extent of vocabulary, you will not be able to attempt the VA section in a manner which it should be addressed.
Okay. Acha, I have this question. I mean, I think Prakhar also, Khushi also, Suniti also mentioned about the mock test and everything. What do you think? Ideally एक स्टूडेंट को कितने मॉक्स देने चाहिए इफ आई टॉक अबाउट वीकली और मंथली? एंड कई बार क्या होता है, स्टूडेंट्स जब मॉक्स देते हैं, इट्स नॉट ओनली विद स्नैप, इवन विद कैट, जब उनके मॉक्स में स्कोर लो आ रहे होते हैं, तो दे काइंड ऑफ डिमोरलाइज, और वो काफी ज्यादा हैम्पर करता है व्हेन इट कम्स टू देयर प्रिपरेशन. सो हाउ नंबर ऑफ मॉक्स and how they should come up with, if they're scoring low in their mocks.
Right. So I think what my strategy was when I was giving my mocks was I would always, for a week, prepare for all the topics I need to prepare for that particular week. And at the end of the week, I would always give at least two mocks. Now, when I was giving those mocks, regardless of the mocks difficulty, some mocks could be at the easier side, some could be at the more difficult side, right? The analysis of those mocks is the most crucial part. Let's say if the mock is easy, you score high. Okay, why did you score high? Right? What questions you went wrong on? And if the mock is at the most difficult side, okay, where did you struggle? And which questions were you taking more time? Were your fundamentals not clear? Did you practice it, or and maybe you forgot when you were actually solving these questions? Maybe you did not know tips and tricks to solve that particular question, right? So it's very important you analyze the mocks, but I think the good frequency of taking the mocks for snap would be between 15 to 20. I think that is a safe score, because if you're starting a preparation in August, you have 3 months. You can definitely give ample mocks. And the crucial thing, again, I'm specifying, is you have to analyze after your
Analyze it,
mocks.
absolutely.
You have to do that.
So if I talk about last but not the least, कि D-Day जिसके लिए हम सभी प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, स्ट्रैटेजी सबकी होती है, वैसे तो वहां जाके सारी स्ट्रैटेजी काम करना बंद कर देती है, because I myself have given entrance examination. समझ में नहीं आता, but let's in case if somebody wants to strategize it, स्पीड टेस्ट है, एक्यूरेसी मेंशन करना है, तो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज होती है किस क्वेश्चन को अटेंड करना है और किस क्वेश्चन को छोड़ना है. So how somebody can finalize this कि अच्छा this is something which I have to go with and this is something which I really don't have to go with. Sometimes it happens कि जो दोनों ही क्वेश्चन हो सकते हैं, शायद आपको दोनों ही बन रहे हो, but what do you think, what should be the strategy for D-Day?
I'd like to go with this question. As I said, first of all, D-Day पे कुछ नहीं करना चाहिए. Let's not bring out any books or practice anything, or not even revise your shortcuts. Just don't do anything. Just relax. Go with a relaxed brain is what I would choose to do. Second is how to actually channelize your energy on the right questions is when you're giving mocks and when you're analyzing those mocks, like Prakhar and Suniti said, analyzing the mocks comes in a very major part here, because that is when we section these are the questions that I always get right. These are the questions where I score high always. So like if I categorize my mock tests into a pattern that tells me that these are the questions that I'm actually very strong in, is what I will actually implement on the D-Day. So while you're analyzing your mocks is when I would say you should actually categorize the paper into the set of questions that you always get right, that you might or might not get right, and the set of questions that you have to stay away from. So you know that you don't mess up on the D-Day. You are not thinking there and spending more time on, oh, should I attempt this question? So I think that categorization during the mock analysis is what helps the most.
Okay, fine, cool. So I also have this question. I mean, there's so many colleges which comes under, SNAP examination, symbiosis with international universities. Obviously, every single student dream to get into SIBM Pune. But again, there are so many other options also for different, niche students, because for, IB, they have a college. For HR, a college which is quite good for HR. So if I specifically talk about SIDTM, right? Why SIDTM, why you thought that, this should be the option, what you can go with. And I think, I was even discussing with Prakhar over call, if I'm not wrong, and he was talking about some hackathon which you guys are conducting, so uh, why SIDTM, and, if you want to address what you've learned during your 2 year of MBA journey, which you have not learned while doing your graduation, and why it's different from all the other B schools out there.
Yeah, so I think one of the key reasons why I chose SIDTM was it is a perfect blend of technology and business. Sort of roles which are coming to our campus emphasizes on that, right? We have tech consulting, we have digital marketing. All these roles, you need to know technology and how it's being implemented business side. Let's say CRM roles, ERP, agentic AI, Gen AI, right? So we are heading to an industry where AI is a must. It is at the forefront. You cannot avoid it. You cannot run from it. So it's better to implement it, to learn about it, right? And that's one of the key things what we have learned in our journey as well. And one of the best things about this college, what I really appreciated, was our syllabus keeps changing according to what the alums and what the industry really requires. So I might have studied what super seniors or seniors might not have studied, because it keeps changing. We constantly talk to our alums, we discuss with them. So this is the syllabus we are planning. Do we need to change something in this, or do you think the industry needs something new that we can teach our students, right? And accordingly we learn stuff. So that's one of the key things I think this college really provides, because if you go to generic B schools, the syllabus you can actually find is pretty old. What we are learning is what maybe people who did MBA in their 2010s or 2011s or 2000s. It's the same syllabus. We also learn the fundamentals, but we're actually learning the new digital technologies as well. So I think that's one of the key features, and that's why I personally joined SIDTM.
Okay, so that was about that why you specifically joined your college. I also have this question, we are currently in a situation जहाँ पे हम देख रहे हैं that there's a huge recession going on. And I mean, if we talk about social media, there's so much of anonymous posts out there related to placements, related to inflated placements, related to unplaced students. Even, if I talk about colleges like IMs, the baby and the new kind of IMs. So what do you think, at this point of time, going for MBA is also a right decision? I mean, I've seen this particular year students, they're not they were not very sure that they even wanted to go for MBA. So do anybody wants to address this particular question also? Is this a right decision, should to go for MBA for the current situation, in the current situation?
Thank you, ma'am. That's actually a really good question. I had the same confusion before pursuing my MBA. But what I did was analyze three major things. Is one, what is my actual goal? What do I want from my MBA? If I'm just going for a degree that is going to get me any job, then that's not what a goal should look like after your MBA. It should be a specific skill set that you want to have. What mindset are you going with? And second, I would say is MBA is only relevant if it is actually changing according to the industry standards. If it's stagnant at one place, like Praka talked about the syllabus that we have here at SIDTM, the main thing is when I talk to my friends before coming into MBA, they were always doing some certification related to AI or some technology certification, which is what they have to spend money on. Here is one thing that I found is in the syllabus of SIDTM itself, you get what certifications offer. So it is integrated into our curriculum. So that is also one thing when you look for your MBA, look for something that is always changing, that is according to the industry trends, then only your MBA is actually worth it. And plus, you need to have practical learning. If we are just focusing on academics, if we are just focusing on being a bookworm and not learning in our SIP or maybe the clubs and committees that we have in college, this actually caters to a lot of practical learning that we have. So MBA is not just books. If you want to get a skill set that can actually sustain you in the business world and the growing industry trends, that is when you should actually invest in an MBA. And that is totally dependent on your personal goals, what you want in your professional life.
Okay. I think, I've also asked about a question called hackathon. I think guys are organizing a hackathon in September, if I'm not wrong. Usually I've heard about hackathons, especially in engineering colleges. I mean, it's quite few, B school is organizing hackathon. So, who wants to talk about it? I mean, what this hackathon is all about, what is the idea behind it? Yeah.
Right. So I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. Hackathons usually are conducted in engineering colleges. Very rarely we hear a B school conducting a hackathon, but I think we as a college are embracing what we stand for, which is building solutions. Hackathon, at the end of the day, is you are solving a problem and you are building a solution to that. I think normal case comms, you present your idea in a slide and that's it. But in a hackathon, not only you're presenting your idea, you're actually building the product, right? And that will happen when you go to any industry, when you work for a company, right? You're actually getting a hands-on idea of what you're about to do, right? So I think that's why a hackathon is a great example or a great opportunity for students who really want to get a hands-on experience on building a product, right? So that's why we're conducting for the first time, and the registrations are open, and they closed on 15th of August. So any students who are interested, I think they can register through One Stop, and the price pool of the total price pool is of 1 lakh. So and the registrations are all free. And I think that's why this could be a great opportunity for anybody, whether you're an engineering student, whether you're an MBA student, right, who wants to actually build upon something rather than just present your idea in a PPT slide. So that's why we are conducting a hackathon. Arshi, you're on mute.
So any last suggestion you wanted to add it to the aspirants who are watching your video, who will be writing all these entrance exams, will be entering into this MBA world? So what suggestions, each one of you wanted to give to these students?
Yeah, sure. I can go first. So, yeah, I think when I was preparing, it's definitely a tumultuous times. You're very confused. But I think sticking to a timetable is absolutely necessary. Build a timetable for yourself and just stick to it consistently. You don't have to study 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. Just quality studying of 3 to 4 hours, um, for getting your fundamentals right, that is absolutely essential, at least for August. And as the D day is coming, let's say September, October, you can full throttle your preparation, start studying a little more, start giving more mocks. And the thing, the most important thing is to just have a cool mindset, just relax. I think there's a lot of noise around why you should do MBA, and a lot of different tricks and strategies that could work. But you have to realize that at the end of the day, your journey is different from any other student. What works for you might not work for some other student, right? Maybe my preparation journey is different from Khushi's or Suniti's, right? So I think getting that right is very important. And I think just being consistent and disciplined can give you uh, benefits and fruits which maybe you were not expecting. So that is just my advice.
Yes, Suniti, over to you.
So I would like to elaborate a little on Prakhar's point of, stop comparing your journeys to other people's journeys. So you set your own goals. You might be good at quant, you might be good at VA, and you might be comparing, oh, this person's already good at this, and I want to pace up in the same. No, please don't compare yourself with any of your peers. You do your own planning and you pace up. The other thing is, of course, there was a lot of noise around me as well, like, why are you doing an MBA right now? Like, you can just go ahead and take up a course as well, and that will just give you. But MBA is something like, if you have good plans and you're gonna transform into something, an MBA college changes you as a person. It gives you so many things which the current world, no matter how many courses, online courses or 2 3 month courses you do, the 2 years of MBA is like your 2.0 version. So that is what I would like to add.
Yes, Khushi.
Yes. So I would say also comparing with each other, like Suniti said, and comparing yourself always, comparing your marks with how you used to score before and after you started your SNAP preparation. Or maybe I used to think about, oh, I was very good in my UG studies, but now during my preparation, I'm just lacking behind. Looking at your mock scores, like you said, that people actually feel very underconfident once they look at their mock scores, or maybe they're going down consistently. That does not really matter. That should not matter. That is a perk that you get to know what are you weak in. So when you're giving your mocks is when your practice time begins before the D-Day. So all of the low scores is just a note for you, is just a lesson for you, so that you can note down your weak points and focus on them while there's still time, instead of regretting after you've already made the mistakes on the D-Day. So just don't feel underconfident, and we don't have to uh, think that we are lacking behind. Just focus on the improving part and focus on the keeping a cool mindset part. That's what I would actually suggest.
Okay, so I think I'm done with any my questions. Anything you guys want to add? And thank you so much for your time. Somebody wants to add something to this?
I mean, yeah, it's honestly a great experience. I mean, when I was preparing, I used to sometimes watch YouTube videos comparing different colleges, and now we're conducting a webinar. So yeah, this is what an MBA gives you, right? Somebody who thinks MBA might not be a good option. I think one of the best things about MBA is the networking. more than your degree, I think networking with different kind of people and seniors, your juniors, your batchmates, colleagues, I think that can really, really help you out. Not now, even in your future, right? It's definitely more than a degree. So yeah, this has been a great opportunity. I think if anybody else wants to add, they can add.
So one last thing that I've been here for just like 2 months now, and this is very new. But in these 2 months, I've already learned so much. Like, firstly, conflict management, time management, and networking, as Prakhar said. Like, you within a week, you know more than 160 people, and you are interacting so many ideas and people from all the diverse backgrounds. Like, someone's from marketing, someone's from like BSc, someone's from engineering, and everybody here has like so many perspectives and so much to contribute into. So that is my last note on it.
Chalo. Thank you so much for your time. It was lovely interacting with you all.
Likewise, and thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I hope you liked this video. For more such videos, keep watching our channel
And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.